Baldongan, a journey from knights, Templar fortress to an active graveyard. The striking ruins that crown the hilltop near Skerries today tell a story of centuries, stretching from the age of the Crusades to the present day. What most visitors call Baldongan Castle is actually the imposing 21-meter fortified tower of Baldongan Church. Yet this site truly was once a formidable fortress with a dramatic history. The oldest structure on this ancient dune fort site is closely associated with the Knights Templar, the powerful semi-military order of the 13th century. They, or the powerful Norman families who followed them, established a massive quadrangular castle here to dominate the strategic area known as the Pale. The adjacent church, with its defensive bell tower, was added later in the 15th century to provide a safe haven for the clergy and locals. The sheer scale of the original fortress, now sadly lost, demonstrates its historical significance as a seat of power in North Dublin. The Knights Templar established a vast quadrangular castle, meaning a four-sided court, flanked by formidable towers at each corner. This layout was not merely defensive, it was a visible symbol of Norman dominance over the Pale. Following the suppression of the Templars in 1313, the fortress passed through the hands of powerful Anglo-Norman families, like the de Birminghams and the Barnwalls of Drimnagh, and later, through marriage, to the St. Lawrence family, the Barons of Howth. For centuries, this hilltop commanded a view of an extensive coastline, acting as a crucial military and administrative center for its high-status owners. The 21-meter tower that remains today is just the fortified bell tower of the church, giving only a partial hint of the original castle's scale, which was considered one of the strongest fortifications in County Dublin. The castle's military life met a catastrophic end in June 1642 during the Irish Confederate Wars. The Confederate forces holding the fortress were subjected to a devastating siege by English Royalist artillery under Colonel Trafford. The bombardment breached the walls, and when the garrison surrendered, an estimated 200 men were put to the sword in a notorious massacre, a fact documented in the contemporary tract New Intelligence from Ireland. The castle itself was left in a ruinous state, with time and weather completing its destruction over the following centuries. While the historical record clearly points to the 1642 massacre, the memory of that violence has also been absorbed into local folklore, often blurring with other historical figures like Oliver Cromwell, who wasn't personally present at this siege. One enduring legend relates that the heavy artillery bombardment was so fearsome that Cromwell's troops had to shell the fortress from a distance, perhaps even from a great thorn tree nearby known as Cromwell's Bush. A more poignant local tale surrounds a nearby field known as the Nuns' Stood, where local women were said to have watched the destruction unfold. Though historical records provide no evidence of a convent ever existing at Baldongan, this melancholy name survives as a powerful testament to the local trauma and the human cost of the castle's catastrophic fall. The most surprising chapter in its history is the physical disappearance of the castle itself. While the 1642 siege left it a ruin, the final above-ground remnants of the original structure were completely cleared from the field adjacent to the church sometime between 1976 and 2001. As a result, when you visit today, you will find no visible trace of the old Templar fortress. However, the ruins of the fortified church and its towering structure remain standing as a national monument, silently presiding over an active, historic graveyard. This sacred space continues its role as the final resting place for local families, containing headstones that date back as far as 1735. Sources and further reading: Archaeological record, National Monument status. The ruins of Baldongan Church and Tower are officially registered as a National Monument of Ireland.